Good evening to everyone. Welcome to fifth semester students of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. And I'm a faculty of your elective paper, that is Government and Politics of Telangana. This is for final year, semester 5. The topic is, here we discuss about Indian government and, government of Politics of Telangana. This is an elective paper where exclusively you will learn about government of Telangana, and there are few chapters. It is given clearly where we will focus on them. The first one among that is we will understand about the historical background of Telangana. This paper is consist of 5 units, which means 5 blocks. The block 1 is the historical background, where you learn about 2 topics diversely, which is given in this block 1. One is Nizam's rule, Andhra Mahasabha, Telangana armed struggle and Mulki agitation. In the block 2, you'll be having in this historical background, where you will learn the concept of this formation of Andhra Pradesh and what was the essence of gentleman's agreement. In the unit 4, is being a part of block 2, you will understand Telangana agitation in the 1969. There where you will understand completely about causes and consequences, finally, how Telangana agitations is formed and what are the reasons them in 1969, how the 1969 movement have contributed the bifurcation of Telangana state from the United Andhra Pradesh in the 2014 in June 2. We understand everything from this unit 4 being a part of block 2. And the block 3, we have state politics and party dynamics, where you will learn 3 diversely topic over there. The first one, Congress rule in the state, its social base and policies. And the unit 6, which is the next topic in the block 3, emergence of Telugu Desam party and its policies. I think everybody knows that the one and only the first party which have raised by the Telangana, the Andhra person, where in order to bringing the identity of Telugu people in India, who have and captured a slogan, who have taken a slogan that is Telugu Vadi Atma Gauravam. That is a major purpose, and who have campaigned, who becomes a pollster of Telugu Desam party, Dr. Nandamuri Taraka Ramarao Garu, and soon after that, the party which have hailed in power, who become a chief minister of Andhra Pradesh, who brought many policies in order to bringing a welfare state policies of a state. We will understand in depth about emergence of Telugu Desam party and its policies and all of them. And we also understand, being a part of block 3, state politics and party dynamics, state level reforms, uneven development, unequal distribution of resources. I think if you could see the 1969 movement, even if you could see the second stage of Telangana movement in the 2007, which was started tussle against and resources. Here, the one point you need to understand from this unit is that the movement of Telangana, it has not made a point in order to criticizing a person of Andhra and as well as to the Telangana. The movement which have focused on resources and as well as to that employment exploitation. There was also the evidences by the many of censuses which have shown since day one, where the employment of Telangana people, where resources of the Telangana people, such as if you could see, Telangana really rich in terms of water, and Godavari, if you could take it up, Krishna, okay, even there's the origin point of the many rivers which are being part of the Telangana, but it's been flowing towards Andhra Pradesh. There was an idea that since then, the moment of this flowing water, which makes it barren land in Telangana. So in order to, and questioning on that, in order to availing such benefits, what actually they need an original benefits in order to forming the lands and in order to escalating their and income of a state, then hence this movement which have initially started for questioning resources and questioning about an employment, questioning about an income distribution between the state. So I think, a common slogan which we used to heard in the Telangana is Bhumi kosam, Niti kosam, Udyogala kosam. Okay. If you could see such kind, all this thing, it was a very essential and primary things to the person for the existence. And as the even this moment, but that is the reason the moment which I've captured from all the categories of the people, irrespective of their identity, distinctness, and culture, and all of them. And is the moment which becomes and very important, because where in the unit 7, the part of the black tree, you shall understand completely about reforms, what it has brought, and what was the reason to causes of uneven development, what was the reasons to causes of unequal distributions of the resources, and all of them one should understand from the unit 7. The next one, unit 4, where you will understand exactly the concept of, that the here you need to understand perfectly over here that the unit 4, which gives you knowledge about, which means black 4, dynamics of Telangana movement, the contemporary Telangana movement, and how it has, that it shows an impact, and how peoples which have joined in the movement, and all of them we shall understand from this unit, where the unit which consists of unit 8, unit 9, and unit 10. We have 3 topics from this black 4. And among them, the first one, which is a unit 8, that is in role of political parties in Telangana movement. And unit 9, role of non-party organization, which you can say pressure groups, one of them, isn't it? Where unit 10 also, you should understand formation of Telangana state. This is all which I am giving in introductions to everyone. Next one, black 5, working of political institutions in Telangana. And we see there are 3 different topics in this black 5. One is in governor in Telangana state. I think, recently every state, it has an important role of a governor, since it is a constitutional position. I think we have seen recently everybody which was focusing on that, how the relations between the governor as well as to the state executive system, isn't it? So as if you need to understand that constitutional arena of governor, how he should have a power in relation to the ministry of a state and council of ministers and all of them. So where we will understand about constitutional positions of a governor and his roles and responsibilities, functions and all of them. The unit 12, it consists of Chief Minister of Telangana state. Okay. And where we'll understand the Chief Minister Telangana state roles and responsibilities, it functions, what it does in all of them, we understand, isn't it? So along with this, in the last one, we also understand this policy making body. Policy, that in composition body, that is a legislature, composition, powers and functions. All of that we do understand as being a part of your 13th unit. This is all about your syllabus. I think you understand clearly what I'm trying to say and regarding the syllabus and all of them. So now I just wanted to discuss the first topic is about historical background of Telangana state. I think, in the name itself, the Telangana, which tells that Telinga, the word, which etymologically, if you could understand the Telangana, how it is named it, how this nomenclature has come to the title of the Telangana state and all of them. This state of Telangana, which derived from 3 different lingas, three lingas. I think everybody, Srisailam is one, and other one is that you can see that in 2 of them, then you will understand easily that the name of Telangana, which has come from 3 different lingas, isn't it? So even the historical, if you see, back to this, and if you could see Trilinga Kshetras, the words, descendants of Lord Shiva. One is in Kaleshwaram, and another one is in Bhimeshwaram, Draksharam, which used to call in Srishalam. All these two put together, which it can be named it as a Telangana. One is in Kaleshwaram, Mukteshwara Swami Temple, Bhimeshwaram, that is also called it as a Draksharama. And the Srishalam is another linga. So all put together, which generally we that say Trilinga Desa, a country of Trilinga. The word Telugu is believed in the derived from Trilinga word. And similarly, that it also can be called it as in Telangana, and all of that. That is an etymological understanding of a particular meaning of Telangana state. But however, you shall understand complete details in your history subject on how this etymology has come and how this name has been informed and all of that. And that you shall understand all the way as a part of your history. But now the point is that in the unit 1, we do understand about that, historical background of Telangana. And especially in this part, we do understand Nizam's rule. And whenever you see recently, I think the 8th Nizam of Hyderabad state, Mufakamja or Mukramja, that demise happened. I think, recently, that 1 week ago, 2-3 days ago, which we have seen that. So, by the time of Nizam's rule, Telangana, which have been ruled by many of that the great peoples, and that was a Nizam's rule state, which was princely state till 1948. Everybody knows that Telangana had district and dialect of Telugu language and civilizational affluence with a great culture and heritage. If you could then compare geographically, Telangana is endowed with 2 principal rivers of India, and namely which it can see in the Telangana geographical region. One is in Godavari, another one is in Krishna, flow across Telangana and become main source of irrigation. The people of Telangana politically conscious, and this consciousness was a result of many socio-cultural movements. And during the 20th century, that we can see presently all the evidences about how the peoples of Telangana, which have been civilized. I think the nationalist movement and the Telangana peasants' armed struggle brought a new level of awareness among the people. Telangana has been experiencing various and Dalit, Bahujan, Adivasi, and backward class movements in assertions of their rights. I think we have seen every state which have gone through the certain levels of transitions after 1948. There was a movement which was talking about an assertions of their rights about Adivasi rights and the Bahujan rights as well as Dalit rights and all of them. So, however, the Telangana also experienced mulki rules as agitation by the youth of Hyderabad and as well as to the Warangal. Mulki, the word which you can see, there is an Arabic word, mulk and non-mulki. Mulk is a certain thing, the person who born and brought up within the native of Hyderabad, who shall be treated as a mulki. The person who do not belongs to Hyderabad, but just few after some time he came to Hyderabad, who settled in Hyderabad, who is titled as a non-mulki. Such as, you can also link to this moment to the, like Sri Lankan Jaffna moment in international relations, like Tamila Simbalis and also the Sri Lankan Simbalis. I think everybody knows that exactly. So the mulki and non-mulki is something. Mulki is an Arabic word. Mulk means there is a region. The person who born and brought up within the region, that it can be called it as a mulki. So, for example, I am an Hyderabadi. I born and brought up here. Hence, I become a mulki. If someone who comes from other than Hyderabad state, who came from other regions of that in Telangana, like such as in Andhra Pradesh, who settled here, and at the point of time, he birth actually it has happened in the some states. But if he settles here, then it shall be considered as a non-mulki. So I think we also seen the certain levels of mulki and non-mulki and agitation by the youth of Hyderabad as well as to the Warangal. The major role which was played at the point of this in students of Warangal and as well as to the many of political, many often philosophers who knows then history, many of histories which have joined in the that in Warangal. That's the reason we all call and Warangal and the Hyderabad Usman University and the many other universities, which is also called as Udyamala Gadda. There's a place which and starts and agitations for the justifications and all of them that we can see them. However, we also seen in the Telangana state is about like in a Vedire Ramchandra Reddy in the 1975, and if you could see the moment of emergency rule by the Indira Gandhi at that point of time in a Nizam states. I mean, that was not in Nizam state, but in the 1970s, we have seen the certain land distribution movement that was used to call it as that in Acharya Vinoba Bhave movement, where Vinoba Bhave paid visit to the Telangana region, especially in the area of Chautupal region. That was an that in Nalgonda, it comes presently in the Nalgonda region, where Vedire Ramchandra Reddy is a person who promoted, who have donated in hundreds of acres of land for redistributions of the land from landowners to landless peoples. So there was one idea that we also see in the certain and movements which have happened in the Telangana region, being a part of the Telangana state. Acharya Vinoba Bhave and made an attempt to bridge the gap between the rich and poor. Thus, the soil of Telangana is politically referred to the land of socio-political movements, which is also been named as Udyamala Kadda. And moreover, the state of Telangana was formed on 2nd June 2014 as a result of bifurcation of composite of Andhra Pradesh. The people of Telangana undertook long-drawn struggle over 6 decades to attain separate statehood in Indian Union. Telangana is the 12th most populated state in India with over 3.5 crores of population in 1.5 square kilometers area. It's been occupied in the entire geography of India. And the Telangana states, it's a border with Maharashtra, and to the north part, if you see that, Chhattisgarh in the eastern part, Karnataka to the west part of that, Andhra Pradesh to the east and south part of Telangana, which we see that. There are 4 states which we can distinctly remember that. If you go and north side, you can get into Maharashtra region from Telangana. If you move towards the east region, you can get into Chhattisgarh. And similarly, if you can move towards the west of this and Telangana region, you can get into Andhra Pradesh. And eastern and south also, which you can see. And the western part, you can go Karnataka. And the east and the southern part, which we are sharing the boundary of Andhra Pradesh. The people of Telangana speak Telugu language, and the slang is also then, a kind of a different language, which we can identify when you compare with the Andhra Pradesh also. There are little slang is different from the person to person. Besides other languages like Kannada, Marathi, Urdu, Arabic, Hindi, and English are also spoken by the people of Telangana. For administrative convenience, Telangana state has divided 33 districts of the state of Telangana as famous and hill ranges such as Yadagiri ranges and Adilabad. You can find out that the names of Yadagiri ranges you can see in the Adilabad district of Telangana, Karimnagar, Warangal, and Balghat ranges also, which is sharing the boundary of Telangana, where it is connected to Hyderabad, Nalgonda, Nizamabad. And Telangana is drained by 2 major rivers of namely, one is in Krishna, which is located and entered into the Tangadi region in the Telangana, which is being a part of Mahabubnagar district. And Godavari, these are the 2 majors which is entered into the Basra of Adilabad, present district of Telangana. And 2 major rivers and have its tributaries such as Bhima and Maner, Manjira and Mosi river. I think in the Mosi river, which is a tributary of EC, Mosi, which starts Arjun point in Vikarabad, Anantagiri Hills, and also then comes across the some of places of Shankarpalli regions and all of that it can cover and enter in Hyderabad. Finally, it get into some of the rivers to that, and we can when we understand about in this geography of and river system of Telangana. And Telangana has rich mineral resources such as coal reserves, which we can find out, that is called Singareni calories, limestone, and bauxite, which we call granite, iron, and manganese. The new state of Telangana has 3.4% of the geographical area of a country, The state has lies between 15.50 north to 1955 northern latitude. And also you can see the globe on the 17.14 east to 81.19 eastern longitude in the Deccan Plateau of India. So similarly, all the districts of the Telangana, which it can and lies with the Deccan Plateau, isn't it? There are the entire regions which have divided the land in the Chotanagar Plateau as well as to the Deccan Plateau. If you could see that in the Telangana region, which mostly lies with the Deccan Plateau. Throughout the history, the Telangana region was ruled by renowned dynasty such as Cholas, and you can see the Cholas administration. You can see the Mauryas administration. You can also see the evidences of Chalukyas, Kakatiyas, Delhi Sultanate have paid visit to the region of Telangana. Bahmani Sultanate, Golconda Sultanate, Telangana area was an integral part of Iristwal Hyderabad state. It joined the Indian Union in the year of 1948. I think you might have seen Major General Chowdhury, which had large an operation, which used to be called Operation of Polo at the time of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, when he has, and that initiated him to making Hyderabad to be a part of and annexing the Hyderabad to be a part of an Hyderabad, India, isn't it? So, however, if you could see geographically, politically, culturally, and all this, which has its own distinct feature when you compare to the other state. And Telangana witnessed a famous place and arms struggle between 1948 to 1951. So these are all the things which you can understand, all of that being a part of this. Similarly, if you go back to the evolution of political system in the Telangana, since our paper is in government, since we need to focus on that. So evolution of political system in the Telangana, if you could see, what does it mean? Evolution here is that evolution is something where you can learn perfectly when actually there's a state started, how political system started in existence in the part of this and Telangana, isn't it? So for that, we need to understand the process of evolutions and all of that. In the evolutions, that in which I can understand, which I can tell you, how the evolutionary system of this Telangana, which has happened one by one, which I can take it out. That's throughout the ancient and medieval period. Telangana was ruled by various monarchs belongs to Cholas, Mauryas, Shatavahanas, Kakatiyas, Delhi Sultanate, Qutub Shahis, and Asif, and that in Nizam during the 16th and 17th centuries. The region was ruled by the Mughals also. From 18th century onwards, the Telangana region of Hyderabad state was ruled by the Nizams of Hyderabad. The Nizam were under subsidiary allowance with the British rulers and enjoyed sovereignty, isn't it? These are all the evolutionary things of the political system of Telangana. The Britishers excused the right to the intervention in internal affairs of an Hyderabad state because since it wasn't ruled by the Nizam at that point of time, the British did not intervene into the matters of administrations of the state at that point of time. The Nizam were also won against misrule British governor and Governor General. If you see the Lord Chelmsford in 1919, the British government also directed Nizam to undertake constitutional reforms in Hyderabad state. But the political parties like Hyderabad State Congress demanded and responsible government in the Nizam government state on July 26 and 1944. The Nizam issued a farmana, which means an order wherein the state expressed its inability to establish a responsive government at that point of time. However, there was a popular representation in the form of legislature in Hyderabad state ruled by Nizam. A legislature was formed in 1993. Itself is a total number of 21 members and 13 and officials and 8 members was a non-official members, and after this 21. Among the 8 non-officials, 2 members were to be elected by advocate of High Court and 2 were to be nominated to and Jagirdars. Remaining 4 were also to be a part of this and among the people of a political acumen, isn't it? So further, and commitment under the Justice Roy and Balamukund was formed a government to adopt and Mountain Chelmsford reforms in the year of 1990. In Hyderabad state, accordingly, an executive council named as in, that in the name of an executive council, Babe Hukumat, okay, Hukumat is something is that an order. So was formed and advised to the Nizam. Likewise, when the British government brought Indian Government Act in the year of 1935, and the Nizam constituted two committees, one after the other, under the chairmanship of Diwan Bahadur Iyengar. First committee, which was formed under the Nizam in order to look into the administrative part of the Telangana state. There was also one of the replica of the political system of Telangana before 1950. In order to look after the responsibilities, Diwan Bahadur Iyengar, which was appointed as a first committee member, Sri and Madapati Hanumantrao was also then being a part of the second member of this committee, isn't it? Suggesting constitutional reforms in Hyderabad state, and these committees suggested in compositions of enlarged legislature, formation of a ministry and advisory bodies in the establishment of local self-government, and a unicameral legislature is, and the membership was an established, and later in membership was an increase in 146. So where there were more representations provided to the people of Telangana region under the Nizams as being a part of the 1935 government rule. However, and the Nizam government had conducted elections to the state legislature February for the first time in the year of 1947. Many political parties boycotted the elections. There was so reluctance to be a part of this Nizams and elections in the year of 1946. The representative of a princely states in these discussions, the Nizam of princely state of Hyderabad expressed his decision that Hyderabad would remain independent of its own without joining the Indian Union later. Because in the 1946, the Nizam of this Hyderabad was refused to be a part of this and Indian Union, where he did not accept the elections, which wasn't prompted by the Britishers at that point of time, who was in Steban and who wants to continue the Hyderabad to be a separate state, and where it isn't disjointed from an Indian Union later. An Indian, and the India attended an independence on 15th August in 1947, and the government of India initiated the process of accession, isn't it, with this power of princely states into the Indian Union. But since then, finally, Virar, Hyderabad, Raichur, Junagadh, Jammu and Kashmir, all these regions which was under the control of princely state, which used to be called that. The government of India appointed in Sri K. M. Munshi as agent general, supervisor, kind of an agreement. What they have actually, finally the government of India initiated a place and police action, which is called Operation Polo, also in respect to accession process of Hyderabad into the Indian Union. There was a Major General Chowdhury who was initiating an operation, and the four places like Secunderabad, some part of an entry of this in Hyderabad, in all the four places, the military which was deployed, and they have completely and captured the complete power from the Nizams, and after the 1948 with successful of this Operation Polo. In this government, the leaders of Hyderabad State Congress and the Burgula Ramakrishna Rao, V.B. Raju, Vinayak Rao, and Vidyalankar were ministers at the point of time. Finally, the chief minister of Hyderabad, which was, government of India issued an order appointing M.K. Vellodi as the chief minister of Hyderabad state after immediately of December 6 and 1948, when the accomplishments of this Operation Polo. And however, on 25th January 1950, a treaty was signed between the representative of Nizam and government of India. This and treaty clearly defines that status and positions of Nizam and issues related to privy purses. Okay, the treaty conferred upon Nizam the state of Raj Pramukh. Nizam enjoyed the position till 1956 with nominal authority. Meanwhile, the first general election and held in the 1952, and the Congress party won the majority seats in, and Burgula Ramakrishna Rao became the chief minister of Hyderabad after 1952. When even then at the time, when the Burgula Ramakrishna Rao is there, when he was in the chair of a chief minister, Nizam of Hyderabad was not in completely quit from Hyderabad, who was a part and parcel of Hyderabad, who had something. Even after that, and also to be a part of the general elections, to being a territory of Telangana region, that you need to understand perfectly. See, isn't it? And, such as he finally after that, and he remained as a chief minister, Burugula Ramakrishna Rao till 1956, and Hyderabad state was, and trifurcated with the Telugu-speaking areas such as in Telangana, were become the integral part of Hyderabad after the 1956, and then the administration attained its an autonomy and a democratic system of governance of through popular elections and responsible government. This was an integration, and how actually the Hyderabad, which we have made it a part and parcel of the Indian Union, and what was an essence of this in 1952, and how in the 1948 the General Jain Chaudhary has taken a responsibility to and fought against that Nizam, and how he has convinced to be a part of this Indian Union. So till 1948, this is the first unit that you need to understand historical background of Telangana state when I'm teaching this. Okay, so like after the 1952, when this general elections came, and even then in the regions of Telangana region, the Burugula Ramakrishna Rao was continued till 1956 as a chief minister of the Telangana region. So after 1956, if you could see, there was also some moments which have come, like unifying the constitutional state. Earlier, if you see, most of the Telugu people, which is mocked and kind of get exploited in the hands of the Tamil people, Madras. I think there was a famous person which used to call Putti Sri Ramalu, who went and fast unto the death, who made it his point to bifurcation of this in state of Andhra Pradesh, and from Madras 1956, after for the first time we have created one state and constitutionally in the 1956 finally. And since that in 1956, after the new elections has happened, then after that the new chief ministers has come into the effect, and after 1956 the chair of Burugula Ramakrishna Rao, which was in disappear. This was an accession of Hyderabad as a part of Indian Union. That was also the part of historical background of this Nizam state of Hyderabad. Then after that, how was the Nizam rule and all of that? The princely state of Hyderabad were also known as a Nizam kingdom, Nizam state, as this was established by Nizam al-Mulk. There were 4 important rulers was being a part of the Nizam rule, which you can also say is that Nizam administration, Nizam kingdom. And one among them, Mir Mehboob Ali Khan, was the 6th Nizam, and Usman Ali Khan was also, and the 7th Nizam, was a veteran administrator who knows very well how to handle all of them. I think we have seen the Salarzing reforms and in the Hyderabad region at that point of how this was happening and all of that. So if you could see entire the tenure of the Nizam rule, how many years they have ruled to the Hyderabad regions was that it's about over 224 years of this time. The Hyderabad, Nizam's rule, which was happened, and entire Hyderabad state in India. Hyderabad state experienced many positive developments like reforms and negative predicaments like oppression as well as in disorder. During 19th century, and if you can calculate it, the Nizams had initiated many reforms under leadership of Salarzing. Salarzing was in prime minister under the Nizams. These reforms were aimed at establishing modern administrative system in Nizam state. These reforms consisted of administrative reforms as well as that in economic reforms, revenue reforms, legal reforms, educational reforms, whatnot, many things like police reforms. Okay, and you see currency reforms, transport reforms, other reforms such as in the administrative reforms. Nizam departmentalized for the first time in Hyderabad and governance. Like, for the first time, who have departmentalized the governance into the different positions. Like, he did not believe in the dictatorship. He was not an autocratic ruler who used to believe in the system, who used to believe in the decentralization, who used to believe in the delegation of the powers. And there he confessed that if a power which can be used by the single person, there is a possibility of exploitations of an administration, such as the Nizam and entire administration, which was divided into the many of positions, which as if you could take it as like Subedars, okay, and Talukdars, Tehsildars, Like, tehsil is a something which we also use in the present days, which is called revenue division. I think you remember perfectly that revenue division. Like presently also in the group 2 post, if you could see the deputy tehsildar. Tehsil is something in the Arabic word which denoted in revenue division. And also the same time, which means, and the state administrative, the governance body, which sort out and stratification of three different positions, which as the Subedar used to look after certain responsibilities, Talukdar, which used to look after the certain responsibility, and Tehsildar, which used to look after the certain responsibilities, which is in relation to the governance of a state. And which we see, and that distinctively different departments were handled by the Sardarul Mihim. Means he was a minister in that. Sardarul Mihim, he was a minister, another controller prime minister, who actually in tune was responsible to the Nizam directly. And with Zilla Bandi system, which you can see that at the point of Nizam's administrations in Hyderabad, which was a great policy, which you can say Zilla Bandi policy in revenue department, and enriched the state with the rationalizations of revenue system. In the legal reforms, the Nizam appointed Munsif and Mir Adil. Was Munsif is something that also which use the word Arabic term, which is in court. Munsif, like if you go back to the villages, there is a post office. Munsif, which used to call Munsif, as well as Mir Adil, there was in judges, and in order to look after the better justice systems in the state of Hyderabad. That's the reason. And when the Salar Singh had brought in very distinctive reforms, which is a replica of the present system of Telangana, which you can see that. And also with the higher and court, namely such as Adalat that there is a name Padushahi, Adalate Padushahi, and Hyderabad with 4 judges. Like it's a body that which we can understand presently, which we call collegium. It's a body of justice, judges. Similarly, even in the Nizam's times, in order to understanding perfectly, here we used to say that in Adalate Padushahi, Adalat is something that in court, which is called in Arabic. So Adalate Padushahi is also there. It consists of the 4 and judges. The chief justice was called as a Nazia. Okay, Nazia, and means that and chief justice name in the Nizam's time. What was the name of a chief justice was Nazia. These reform also brought changes in the system of punishments. The educational reforms has made it very important at the time of Salar Singh, at the time of Nizam's administration. These reforms also brought changes in the system of punishments, as well as schools and other educational institutions have been made it a lot of and reformical work which has done in an area of schools and other educational institutions has been gone through the rationalization. Renowned schools like City High School, and that was established in the year of 1870. At presently, what you see, City College, isn't it? Presently, at the border of Afzalgan, if you see that there is a college which is called City College, which was established earlier. It used to be considered as a high school at the time of this Nizam's administration. So 1870, the City College establishment has happened. Presently, what we call City College, isn't it? Soon after that, many educational institutions have been established, such as Chadarghat High School. And 1872, the Chadarghat High School, which have been established. Soon after that, Madrasa Aliyah School, 1873, that was a date which was established. I think you can see at the juncture of Bashir Bagh, Fateh Maidan, presently opposite of Nizam College. You can see Madrasa Aliyah School that was established in the year of 1873, and Engineering College 1870, Nizam College in the year of 1887, which is located just beside of Commissioner Office in the Bashir Bagh, as well as to an LB Stadium, which we call, that used to be called as a Fateh Maidan. The first college principal of Nizam College, the first principal of Nizam College in the year of 1887 was an Agornath Chattopadhyaya. Okay, and soon after Usmania University, which was established in the year of 1920. And then the Nizam had realized, and realized that in a great manner that he wants to develop and state with a literary basis also. And he wants to see each and everyone must be an educated. For that reason, who have given an immense and respect towards the educations, who have developed lots of educational institutions. What we see presently, one of the greatest colleges in Hyderabad, especially in India also, like Jagan, who have a student of Nizam College, Speaker Suresh Reddy, Kiran Kumar, even the filmatic peoples like Balakrishna, a present and the star of Tollywood industry, who is also a student of Nizam College, who provided much of leaders also. So as you can see that many of filmatic stars and many of political leaders, many of leaders of that, like Kiran Kumar Reddy, who held CM positions of an United Andhra Pradesh. So many of the whatnot that many collectors and many of them it has produced, isn't it? So soon after that, and again during the year of 1865, the Nizam government bifurcated revenue and the police department and started appointing the police officer in higher positions such as kotwals, like presently which we call DGP. Okay, DGP, Commissioner of Hyderabad. So DGP at present, what we call, it used to be called in the Nizam's administrations, which was called as a Kotwal. Kotwal, I think academy which has changed the name in Hyderabad. Andhra Pradesh, earlier it used to call Appa Junction, Andhra Pradesh Police Academy. After bifurcation of the Telangana state in the 2014 June 2, it's been also a nomenclature change. There was a name has changed. One is, it is been renamed as Raj Bahadur Venkat Ram Reddy Police Academy, Telangana Police Academy. Who was the first Kotwal of that time is Raj Bahadur Venkat Ram Reddy. You have to remember that. The service of these officers were used for an effective policing to bring law and order under control for the improvement of the financial conditions of the people in the Hyderabad. Even the Nizam also set up mints at Hyderabad, mint industry, and a central treasury office and local treasury offices, which is central treasury office and local treasury offices. If you could say where exactly it's located presently, Telangana government is constructing a secretariat which is connected to the IMAX theater from the point of that, and there was a treasury system which was in existence. We used to operate entire Nizam, all these treasuries at that point of time, under the supervision of Munshi Khana. There was a Munshi Khana. Stamp paper offices were also started at that point of time. As a part of transport reform, the Nizam government signed an agreement called Chanda Railway Agreement. You have to remember that perfectly, that in transport, in order to bringing that transport reforms, and what we see the transport system presently, many of the districts like such as City district, Nizam district, if you see Hyderabad, even if you take it up, that many of Karnataka regions, many of them Raichur, Bidar, many of and stations and the bus stations which was constructed by Nizams at that point of time in order to make easier of transport from one region to another region. For that, in order to labeling, in order to building, in order to strengthen the transport system, who made it in transport reforms with the name of Chanda Railway Agreement. To build railway line between Madras and Bombay via Hyderabad, Wati and Gulbarga, this government had also established a public works department, which is called a PWD department, to provide the transport facilities to the people in the very easy manner. The Nizam government also initiated social reforms such as in the abolition of sati system, and that was one of the social level which we have seen since in the time of Raja Ram Mohan Rai. There's many of social leaders which work hard in order to eradication of this. Then culture of the sati is also being spread out in the Nizam's time also. That was one of the miracle that you have to remember perfectly. The state, there was also well positive attributes and aimed at and prosperity and progress in the Telangana. The Nizams, which have made it a lot of reforms at the time of Salar Singh time, who also worked hard to eradication of the social evils in the Telangana, especially in the Hyderabad state, as they worked hard very well on the eradication of the sati system also. Moreover, the Nizam government also resorted an oppression cruelly against the functionaries and a various social and the political movements, such as very often the Nizam government used to issue farmana, which is called an executive order. The limit the freedom of people, for example, the Farmana of 46 of 1311, foreseen 1920 law, and he has released that was made it imposed to restrictions and starting new places of worship in the state without the permissions of the government. Again, during the year 1921, the government issued a Farman 52, number 52 of Farmana, which forbidded the holding of political meetings in the state. It is, and insisted that the agenda of any meetings should be held in part of the state should be approved by the Chief Secretary in advance. This order was brought when the government was, and government was pursued and agreed by the departments of an Khilafat movement and the non-cooperation movement in the Hyderabad state. Even the moment of this is shown, like the national movement is also been suppressed by this thing. And also at the same time, and another system, again, Nizam government issued a gag order, that is a gag order in a 1929. It is gag order, which is known as a Gasti Nishan Tirpur. Okay, Gasti Nishan. Nishan is an identity. Okay, Gasti Nishan Tirpur, or Farmana number 53, which you can consider, that declared any person holding public meeting should Tirpan is an identity, is it out for this, and one has to believes in the Farmana of the Nizam. And if any, maybe before a 10 days, he has to submit it a notice to the concerned department. They have to approve it, and once they approve it, they have to go for addressing the people until and unless there is no point of reason. And also at the same time, after submitting this thing, government will take up and complete an examining process and agenda and decide whether the meeting is political nature or not to provide permission for conducting meeting. All of them, it can be probe and investigated by the certain Gasti Nishan Tirpan, isn't it? So in addition to the restrictions in the political parties, public meetings, and newspaper, the government also imposes certain restrictions on them, establishing private schools and also at the same time, gymnasiums, okay, and also the same time place of worship. Several newspapers like Kesari, Swarajya, the Hitawad, that are published in British India were banned in Hyderabad state. Okay, which one? It is in Hitawad and the newspaper. The Nizam government imposed many restrictions on the freedom of the press and imposed penalties on editors of reports of various newspapers like Hyderabad Record. If you see the Pioneer and Hindu during the last decades of 19th century, when someone of the intellectuals like Agornath Chattopadhyaya, Mullah Abdul Qayyum, and Dastar Agasai Hosham protested against he proposed that Chanda railway scheme should be stopped. They were dismissed from the public services department and threatened with a deportation and in the time of Nizam's administration. And many Arya Samaj leaders were also arrested and imprisoned when students of Usmania University founding singing the Vande Mataram song in the eve of the Dasara celebration, the student admissions were cancelled. And also at the same time, the Hyderabad State Congress was banned in 1938 for the first time under the public safety regulations by the Nizam's government. On this issue, Jawaharlal Nehru, as the leader of the All India State People's Conference, wrote a letter to the Nizam of Hyderabad, and that who was addressing in the letter, and the state of Hyderabad will have to change its ways completely before it can and entitle itself any consideration in an assemblies determining the future of India, and in the event or the ban on the state Congress continuing and determining the futures of India and all of that. It is written in the letter of this and Nizams in the era that was happened 1938 after banning of this Hyderabad State Congress. When the socialist leader Jayaprakash Narayan visited Hyderabad and delivered a speech in the month of May 1947, the Nizam government made him an extremist by asking him to leave the Hyderabad. So as we have historical evidences also that even the Jayaprakash Narayan, which we have slogan in Hyderabad, that is provoking the people of Hyderabad to run towards a democracy and all of them, after capturing, examining all of that, the Nizam government made him extremely by asking to leave the Hyderabad. That was also one incident which has happened in the year of 1947 that you need to understand. There was a one political and evolutions of the Telangana in the time of Nizamul Mulk, all of that I have told. The soon after that, we'll understand Andhra Mahasabha and how it is contributed for the Hyderabad Telugu speaking people. What is the role of an Andhra Mahasabha? We'll see to that. The Telugu speaking and people of Hyderabad, if you say state, try to serve the proper organization and position in their language and the culture and setup. Andhra Janasangam is a place where the people of Telugu people will put together. It's a Sangam is a place, is collection of everyone. Under the collective leadership of Madapati Hanmantarao and B. Ramakrishna Rao and Adiraju Veerabhadra Rao and Narsingh Rao, all these four peoples was associated with the Andhra Janasangh. And even that in the later the name was changed that Nizam State Andhra Janasangh, or these four leaders. And among them, the much role which was played by the Madapati Hanmantarao in the year of 1923. The Sangam was aiming the social and economic cultural revival of Telugu pride, and the Andhra Janasangam held four conferences in Hyderabad in the year of 1923, which is under the and chairmanship of Madapati Hanmantarao and Narsingh Rao also. Where among them, the leaders of joined here, like, mostly the Janasangam have converted into Nizam Andhra Mahasabha. Initially, if you could see, Andhra Mahasabha, which was a replica of Hyderabad Janasangh, isn't it? Soon after, in the year of 1928 later, which has been converted into and Andhra Janasangh thing which has happened. Then after that, leaders included Ravi Narayan Reddy, Baddam Ella Reddy, and you know that another person named Pulijala Venkat Rao, and other felt aims and objectives of a Sangam should include social, economic, political questions such as VETI, rural indebtedness, political reforms. So one thing you need to understand that even at the time of Nizam state, the leaders of the Andhra regions was so enlightened, such as if you could take it out, this I can say it's a process of enlightenment. The people such as Madapati Hanmantarao, and you know that the name of a person as like Ravi Narayana Reddy, Baddam Ella Reddy, and Pulijala Venkat Rao, all these peoples have taken in much initiation to work hard and aims and objectives of Andhra Mahasabha. The aims and objectives of Andhra Mahasabha, if you could take it up, the first and objective which was made it out on point, social reforms. They have worked hard for a social reform. They also wanted to bring the economic reforms. They wanted to bring the political question is, whereas it focuses on the social things in order to eradication of VETI, rural indebtedness, and political reforms and so on. That's the major reasons which was VETI system. The VETI, it was the one of the social dishonor and the area where these are all the peoples, Ravi Narayan Reddy, Pulijala Venkat Rao, Baddam Ella Reddy, all the four peoples have taken the much initiation in order to eradication of VETI system as a part of this and Andhra Mahasabha. That is one of the finest aim of the Andhra Mahasabha in the year of 1928 under the chairmanship of Ravi Narayan Reddy. Then Andhra Mahasabha attained the mass character in the inclusion of this that the new issues and agenda. First state level Congress Andhra Pradesh was held at Jogipet. That's the present. I think you have an history in the 1930. In the Jogipet sessions was very, very famous, and the Andhra Mahasabha. Then in the Jogipet session, the leadership of an editor name of the Golconda Patrika, Suravaram Pratap Reddy Garu, has taken the much initiation to conference set a new agenda for the struggle for the new thinking patterns toward the Andhra Mahasabha. In course of the time, Andhra Mahasabha held second conference in a Devarakonda, that is a place point of Nalgonda in the year of 1931. The third conference of Andhra Mahasabha held at and Khammam region in the year of 1934, and the fourth conference of Andhra Mahasabha held at Sirisilla in the year of 1935, and the fifth conference of Andhra Mahasabha have taken place in the Shadnagar. That was a place of many of great leaders, such as in the Professor Haragopal sir, Professor, I think Burgula Narasimha Rao was the first Chief Minister of Hyderabad in the 1952, hailed from certain region. The 1948, the conference, Chilkur conference, and I think everybody says that 8th conference which are held in Chilkur, and in the 1941, 9th conference, there is a place Dharmavaram in the 1942. 10th conference which have takes place and in the Khammam region, 10th and all other regions also. And 10th conference which have held it, in the Hyderabad region in the 1943 to discuss certain issues related to the social and economic political issues of them. So, however, the Andhra Mahasabha attained the mass character with the inclusion of new issues in the agenda of the first state level conference of Andhra Mahasabha, which held Jogipet in the 1930. That was a great leadership which we have seen. Suravaram Pratap Reddy. That's what I just wanted to tell you about it. And the soon after Telangana armed struggle, we'll discuss Mulki agitation. We'll discuss in the tomorrow. And thank you everyone for joining the sessions and welcome. And tomorrow's sessions, if you have any questions, you can ask me the questions right away so that I can work on that. Thank you everyone. And we'll see you in the next session. Thank you very much.